Breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here?
And welcome. Glad everyone is here on Facebook Live and on Rocking the Valley. I'm Tom Cooney, your host. This is the Season 1, Episode 1 edition of Songwriters Live and Alive. We'll be here every Monday night, 7 o'clock, with a special guest, an original music artist, who will share their music, talk about their music, and we'll talk about music in general as well. We'll trade songs, and the artist will tell you how you can find them and their music and website and their music and merchandise and everything. It's different. It's interesting. The focus will be on the music and on the songs, but things tend to get silly when you talk about music anyway and a little bit serious. So we anticipate some great discussion as well. I want to say my guest this week is special guest Frank Porter. Frank, how are you? Frank, can you hear me there?
Yeah, I'm back. I was playing with my gear over here. I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm honored to be the first guest. That's awesome.
It is great. You're a favorite in the region, and you're a favorite among the Rocking the Valley crowd. And you and I have known each other for a while and had the chance to play together as well, which was great for me.
Yes, I remember some of our, what would you call those? Impromptu jam sessions.
Yeah, impromptu jams. Well, that's what's nice getting a good musician like you on board. We can start out with a groove song or a 12-bar blues, and we both know where it can go, and it's very dynamic and creative.
You brought me to some great places musically. It's a lot of fun to play with you.
Well, thank you. I would say the same too. I like playing rhythm to your lead work because you
support me like very few people, to be honest.
Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment. I pride myself on being able to listen to the improviser.
Thank you. That really helps, as we both know.
It took a long time to get there. I got a lot of It is. Frank will get a chance to talk about himself as well. I'll open up the show with a short and fun original. And this is something I wrote very recently. And this is called Summer Picnic Time. When the summer heat's burning a volcano flow, we need a great escape, don't you want to go? By the mountainside, I'm calling everybody, saddle up and ride. It's summer picnic time. Grab iced tea and beer and food for the grill. Guitars for good cheer. We got hearts full of smiles. I'm yours and you're mine. Come on, everybody, it's summer picnic time. Well, there's burgers and dog sisters, vegan recipes. We got disc golf, wiffle ball, backgammon, if you please. Oh, there's a swim at sunset that built the fire bright. Well, everything is love on this July night. summer picnic time. Grab iced tea and beer and food for the grill. Guitars for good cheer. We got hearts for the smile. I'm yours and you're mine. Come on, everybody, it's summer picnic time. Come on, everybody, it's summer picnic time. Come on, everybody, it's summer picnic time.
Yeah. I was jamming along. It was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a neat, a fun tune. I worked on something light and poppy, and as you know, there's all kinds of songs that people write. And
Yes.
one thing that's neat, everyone out in the audience, about the show is for each song that the individual songwriter presents, we'll talk really briefly about it, maybe 30 seconds at the most or a minute. Not unless the songwriter guest wants to talk more about that song, if that's special to them or something. I'll just say what I said in the beginning about that song. For me, I was intentionally trying to write something poppy and light and fun, and to make a lot of real references about what happens at a picnic, like the kinds of games you have, like the disc golf and the wiffle ball and the backgammon and vegan recipes. And so I was trying to make
Probably West Virginia.
some concrete examples I was trying to make. And it's good. We've been going out to different state parks and county parks recently, and people are really behaving for the most part. Everyone's distancing and social masking, so it's really, really good to see. And we hope you and yours out there are healthy and being safe, and we've got a ways to go on this thing, so make sure everyone's being smart and being healthy. Very much. Well, I want to again introduce our special guest this week, Frank Porter. And Frank, let's just start off with some music, and then we'll talk a little bit. And what do you feel like playing for folks?
This song is one I don't think I've done yet on the internet broadcast. I'm trying to do something different as frequently as possible. I have a large catalog of original songs. I'll talk just a little bit about this song before I start. It was written at a campground. A full moon came up in front of me, and quite literally 30 minutes later, this whole song on a 12-string acoustic guitar came out of me. This is called Wild Child. Moon in the sky, shining bright tonight. Moon in the sky, feels right tonight. Things that I see mean a lot to me. Things that I see, I know you can see. Have I been here before? I know I have. Yeah, I've been here before. It's a wonder I'm not mad. And there are others like me. They've seen what I have seen. Yes, there are others like me. And you will see. Open your eyes. Look inside. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it wild? I'm a wild child. You're a wild child. Aren't we wild? Moon in the sky with the band on the road again, trying to understand. I wish I could drive slow, but I know I've got to keep rolling on. Gonna keep rocking the best that I can. Choices and actions are who I am. I've got to go with the band on the road again, trying to understand. Don't want to leave you here, don't you know? I've got to go with the band on the road again, trying to understand. Don't want to leave you here, don't you know? You're in my soul, like rock and roll, like rock and roll. You're in my soul, like rock and roll. You're in my soul, rock and roll is in our souls, rock and roll. I've got to go with the band on the road again, trying to understand.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah. Now, for folks in the audience, tell them what you were doing. You started improvising over your own guitar playing halfway through there. Tell them
Yes, I have a little toy or device down here. It's a tiny little thing. It's an amazing little box. As I'm playing, I can record a measure, and hopefully you start on the beginning of the measure and at the end perfectly. Otherwise, it messes things up. It's quite an art. So as long as your timing is really good with the steps, you can set the thing so it loops, and then you can do some improv. Or in my case, I'm working out my guitar solo. That's pretty close to where I want.
Got it. And it's called a looper for folks out in the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it a loop pedal, but yeah, a lot of people call it a looper.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Neat.
That's the word right on it, looper. It says right on it.
Yeah, it's there are some dedicated loop boxes that can allow you to loop a very large segment of music. And then there
Yeah,
are,
I've done a whole like 5 minute song on this thing,
yeah, exactly. And then
and
there
then
are
you play along with your whole song. It's pretty wild.
yeah,
I would recommend preloading it if you're going to do that, though.
yeah, yeah. And then there are smaller ones, and the loop is actually an additional function in a lot of other pedals. So my vocal harmonizer actually allows 60 seconds of looping if I wanted to start using that, so I wouldn't have to get another pedal. So does my digital
I
delay.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All this technical stuff on stage and live shows, there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong.
Yeah, I see some guitarists pedal boards with 6, 7, 8, 9 things, and it's like, oh my, how do you do it?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff to be doing while you're trying to put emotion into your song.
So now with your improvising, I've heard your music for a long time, and it's always been kind of a central part of what you do versus someone who strums and sings songs kind of thing.
Yes, I'd like to add some other parts. I love any kind of music that has an orchestral arrangement, including orchestras, of course. That's why I fell in love with that. I used to work at the Olympic Center in Lake Placid, and they had Disney on Ice, and this is going to sound crazy, but there was an orchestra in the stands playing along to the people who were skating. And it was so cool. Those people were so good. And I also got to experience the Duke Ellington Orchestra
Oh,
back then, and they would play. I was this far away from the screen to me from them, and I'm getting goosebumps right now. So I had real great inspiration when I was younger. I just was very fortunate to have that. Other than that, though, live music was very far from where I lived. You had to travel to sometimes another country to go see the band
wow.
you wanted to see. It was closer to go to Canada in some cases from where I lived.
Yeah, yeah. And about when did you leave Lake Placid and make your way down this way?
It was, let me think about that, 1991. I remember it well now. I mixed a band just before I left Lake Placid on a Fostex 8-track reel-to-reel.
Wow.
You remember those?
Oh yeah, I remember the 4-track.
Yeah. Yes. So I had never used one before. And the band's set up, and they're anxious to get started, and the signal's going in, and you can see the lights moving, but we can't record it for some reason. We can't figure out how to record it. And it literally took 2.5 hours for us to figure out to push that button or something like that. Oh, what a nightmare.
Software today can be as complex. Hey, I'm going to transition on to this week and start round 3 pretty quickly. We're going to have a couple of different things every week that we're going to throw into the mix as well. And one of them is some kind of thing for our listeners out there to let them know of something important that they've got to be looking at. And for this year, for right now, that's making sure everyone is registered to vote.
Amen.
So, and there's the site right there up top, votespa.com. That's where you go.
I'm registered.
Yeah, and you can register to vote there. And more importantly, if you are registered, go check your voter registration information. Make sure it's correct. And in this year, what's going to be really big this year is mail-in balloting. Get your mail-in ballot. You can apply there. This shows you how to do it. And don't wait, folks. Don't wait till October. The mail's going to be backed up to the hilt. Do this as soon as you can. Get your friends to do it as soon as you can. This is a great year to practice your citizenship.
Right on. I'm down with that.
A good thing.
Yes, very important stuff.
Speaking of things that are going on this year, this next song is something I wrote in the beginning of April. And it's about a hospital worker who's working during what's going on right now. And I really didn't think I'd have to keep playing this song month after month. So it's interesting. I tried to, as we say, Frank, we'll talk a little bit about each song. And what I did for this one, I do what a lot of songwriters do. When you're writing about a character, you stop and don't write. You just put yourself in that character. You know, what did they do that day? What was their whole day like? And I think that's where this song came from. hospital shift ends, I shed my tears, shed my clothes, leave my band of brothers and sisters on the front lines to carry the load. I head home to my family, I kiss them through the glass of my back porch where I sleep. I don't know how much more I can last till I hold their hands, hold their hearts. I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. But soon it's time for work, so I go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today. We need more tests, we need to trace. My day-old mask won't protect my face. We need ventilators and leaders with heart. What a screwed up human race. Every patient is someone's love, someone's rock, someone's friend. I must be all those things to them if I'm the last one at the end. So I hold their hands, hold their hearts. I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. And if it's time, just let go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life that I can save. It's my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today.
Wow, that was really awesome.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome. I really was having a great time with that one.
That's dedicated to all the medical workers.
I have medical worker friends, and it was hitting me.
It's amazing what they're still doing, and they don't whine and they don't complain. And
they're on the front line.
It's unbelievable. They're putting themselves at risk. They're getting sick. Some are dying. And everybody needs to do everything they can so they don't get sick when there's lots of good ways to prevent it. So
yeah, err on the side of caution, please.
Yeah, very much, and so much love and honor and respect to these people. And it's so from a songwriting perspective, again, I just tried to imagine what is that person's day like, and trudging home to their family, kissing them through the glass of the back porch where they sleep. So I tried to come up with these images, which I guess if you were to talk to other songwriters out there, Frank, probably images or things that are concrete help songs a lot, I guess.
Amen. That's what causes them to happen quite often.
Yeah. Is it that for you as like an image spark your songwriting, or is it a thought or some words you thought of, or?
A few different things, but images play a role all the time. I see pictures in my mind a lot.
Like
And
that.
sometimes those pictures become words, and that's when a good song usually happens.
Yeah, that first song you mentioned, you had just seen the sun,
No, the moon.
the moon, excuse me. Yeah, and it sparked you to start writing
I didn't
something.
know I was going to write a song, and literally not more than 40 minutes later, that whole thing was done. On the 12 string. It sounded great on a 12 string. I can't play the 12 string too much anymore, unfortunately. Hurts.
Yeah, and that's probably another thing that we can share with folks out in the audience, is that a lot of songs are different in terms of how much they take to complete. Some are stuck in stone, and you're chiseling them for months. You keep going back there to see where the song is, and some are like the one you mentioned where it came.
Yeah, I love the ones that just pop right out like that.
I think
I wish they would happen more often, actually. But it doesn't usually work like that, honestly. Sometimes, not usually.
Yeah, I would say it's the minority for me.
Oh, yeah.
So when it happens, I'm getting better at making myself stop and go grab a pen.
Yeah, I tend to go grab like a recorder, my voice recorder on the phone now.
Yeah,
That's my savior. That saves me sometimes.
yeah.
It's a rough version, but that's good.
Yeah, I do my chord progressions. I go to that Music Memos app and I write down the progression. I hum along with it. But for the lyrics, I always turn to a scratch pad. So.
In one case, while I was doing this voice memo recording stuff, I recorded this thing that I love. I can't figure it out. I even hired a music teacher to teach it to me. He couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what was I doing that day?
You'll figure it out someday.
Yeah, maybe you can figure it out. Maybe we'll get together.
I'd love to take a look at it.
If you can figure that thing. It seems like it should be figure outable, if that's a word. It's not a word, but
Now.
it's frustrating is all I know, because I want to play that song really bad. Hopefully one day. It's really nice.
Sometimes with melodies, I don't write by melody a lot. And for me, the melody comes later after the chords, the rhythm, and the lyrics. But sometimes I get this really haunting, lilting melody. And then I have to backtrack and figure out what key or keys is this in, what chords work underneath this. But for me, it's very rare that happens.
Yeah, this is one piece. It's most frustrating because I really love it, and I want to play it so bad. I don't even know where it is now. I put it away so it won't bug me at this point. Because if it's near me, I'll keep trying to figure it out. But even the music teacher who couldn't figure it out was looking at me like, what are you doing? I might have been in an alternate tuning for all I know. I don't even know, because I use it in tunings.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you have for us this time around?
All right. This time I'm going to do something called Not Long Ago. It goes back to 1988 in Saranac Lake and Park Avenue, if anyone is familiar with Saranac Lake. Kind of a love song, I guess. Not long ago, I didn't know things could be this way. I thought living was just for food, not for someone like me. No. I found a girl, she's in my world, lets me be free, you see. Together we grow, For we are free, and we both know what love means, yeah. Not long ago, I didn't know things could be this way, so great. Now our new life is oh so bright, and our future looks bright.
Excellent. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, where can folks find you? What's your social media presence and website presence and all that stuff?
One of the main places to go is frankporteracoustic.com. And if you're looking for me on Facebook, go to facebook.com/frankporterrocks. And also, I think facebook.com Frank Porter Acoustic as well. So there's a couple places. The acoustic, Frank Porter Acoustic's more about the band, and Frank Porter Rocks is about everything I do. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in my world. Sometimes it's very mundane stuff, sharing pictures of my cat. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, good, good. And on your social media, I guess I see you're up on Reverb Nation and some other spots. And
Yeah, the frankporteracoustic.com will take you to the Reverb Nation page, actually. And on Twitter, twitter.com, FP Acoustic is my username there. So you can find me on Twitter there.
FP Acoustic.
Pretty sure on Instagram I'm Frank Porter 1982 or something like that. I'm not sure about my Instagram page.
Yes, that is true. I saw that the other day.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, good, good. And so can you tell us about the projects that you have released that folks can find, and then tell us what kind of things you're working on?
Sure. The stuff that you'll find at frankporteracoustic.com is there's 3 albums that I've released since 2013. I did release albums earlier in my career. They're not available there. I might re-release them at some point. But the things you will find there are my Who I Am album, which I got signed to a label for that one. Tape Music Group signed me. And I'm not officially on sign, but they were into some trouble about 2 years ago, and I don't know what the status is, so you never know. But I'm not counting on them coming back, so I'm just taking on the independent musician role again, which I've done for many years. And the second album on there, the newer one from Who I Am, 2015, I released Frank Porter Live. And because of my Who I Am album and subsequent touring, I recorded some of those live shows and it became an album. And I have to give credit right now to Phil Stahl, because every recording on the live album is from Phil Stahl's show, either on the radio or at a venue where he was recording me.
Now, Phil Stahl, for those few of you who might not know him, in Southeast PA and in the tri-state area, he is Mr. Open Mic. He runs them everywhere, as well as being a great musician and good songwriter himself.
Amazing.
That's STAHL, and Phil's just done so much for music. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. He supported me for decades. Love the guy.
Yeah.
And there's a newer album called I Can Win. And that's got all studio stuff and 7 originals, 3 covers. Most of my albums have about that, 7 originals and 3 cover songs. So I like to mix some cover songs into my stuff.
Got it.
And what I'm working on now, wow, you wouldn't believe what's going on, is COVID thing allowed me some time. And I'm trying to take advantage of this time frame to do as much as I can. So I was halfway or 3/4 of the way through a new studio album. So that's coming along still. I'm still working on that one. I have this idea of releasing a all instrumental album That hasn't really started yet. That's just an idea at this point. And very recently, I hooked up with Amber Pierce, who we all know.
Yep.
And we're going to record some stuff from the act that I was telling you about that could have been signed to Elektra. So I'm dusting off those songs, and I'm going to see if Amber can sing some of these songs. I also worked with a lady named Ellie Carroll out of Merchantville, New Jersey, who had an amazing voice. Gives me goosebumps. Rest in peace, Ellie. She also passed away. Rewrote some really good stuff. In particular, there's a song called Spirits in the Wind. I've always felt that song could be like a Grammy Award-winning song if we could just record it right. And I never got to do it completely with Ellie. We have a demo recording of it, so at least that exists. And maybe Amber will be the singer. And I'm working with some other female vocalists on this project as well. I told Amber that. I was being very transparent.
Yeah.
And I'm going to invite quite a few ladies to sing Spirits in the Wind because I'm looking for that magic recording, if you know what I mean.
Got it, yeah. So lots of projects in the can that people can access, and lots of recordings they can find, and you've got a lot of stuff going on. What about in terms of publicly? Is there a spot where people can see your face now that people are starting to perform again in a socially distant, safe way? Have you been getting out at all yet?
I have. Just this past weekend, I did 2 shows in the public. Both of them were at the Blueberry Festival at Burnside Plantation in Bethlehem, where actually Amber and Samantha Pierce came out to see me last night. That was pretty awesome. And we got to talk a little bit about the project. And Ralph Pagano was out there, and there was another guy. I think his last name was Metzger.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd met him before, but that was pretty neat. I think on August 15th, I'm pretty sure we're doing the promenade shots in Center Valley.
Got it.
I think 11 to 1. I'm pretty sure those are the hours for that.
Folks can find that up on your website. And
Yeah, you might need to look for this one, ypontap.com. That stands for Yingling Porter on Tap, which is my duo.
Got it. That's right. So ypontap.com.
For that.
Yeah. Good. Well, a lot going on, Frank.
Yeah, I've been this busy in like decades. I'm like, how did that happen during COVID? Especially, I thought I was going to be like doing nothing.
Yeah, I've found that my songwriting has just boomed these last few months. Mm-hmm. I have an EP that's almost done. I need to get back into the studio. We're not sure how we're going to finish it up in a socially distant way, but that'll be about 7 or 8 songs. And in terms of songs that are done and written that I have made songwriter demos for and started tracks for, there's another 15 to 20 songs beyond those. So
I so appreciate that.
It's been a productive time, and I keep working with the Songwriters group up at Godfrey Daniels, a great group of supportive folks.
Yes, that's a great place and great people. I agree.
And I play a lot of songwriter showcases. Recently done a couple with the Philadelphia Folk Song Society, the folks that run the Philadelphia Folk Festival.
Yes.
And wonderful people at the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance, PASA, a wonderful, very supportive group of people spearheaded by Rob Lincoln and Christine Winchester Perry. And it's just amazing how supportive all of our peers can be, as well as how much we can support them.
Yes. Yes, and that's a great thing to do right now, especially now. That's how I feel. So I'm trying to get out there and support others, and I appreciate anyone who comes out and supports me as well. It's a two-way street here.
Very much. Got it. And folks can find me on TomCooneyMusic.com and on Facebook at Tom Cooney Music. And and my email is tom@TomCooneyMusic.com. So pretty simple stuff. But Frank, any parting words? If I first want to thank you for being the inaugural guest and sharing so much about your history and your songs and what's behind your tunes and telling folks what kind of stuff you're up to.
Honored to be the first guest. I thank God every day that I get out of bed and for my gift that I can still play as well as I can, because I know aging guitars don't always get to keep playing at the level they were at. My hand is showing some signs. I won't lie. I'm going to be transparent on that too. It hurts sometimes. I'm tuning my guitar down a full step to alleviate some of that stuff. But it's not like I just get up there and strum. I'm doing some serious stuff.
Yeah, you're very accomplished on the fingerboard, and Frank, as you'll notice when you go out and chase his music a little bit more online and go see him live, Frank tends to rock a little bit harder than you heard him tonight. So I really want to thank you, Frank, for sharing some kind of introspective pieces tonight. It was kind of
Yeah, I purposely tried to do something different than what I usually do tonight. And I wanted to show everyone that I do have some other kinds of songs than what I usually do. I'm definitely a rocker. I was in a band called Frank Porter's Problem Children, and believe me, we were all problem children. I was probably the worst back then, and my wife is very thankful that the band doesn't exist anymore.
That is too much.
Yes,
Well,
rock bands can be dangerous.
I want to thank everyone out in the ether for listening. Join us every Monday night.
Thank all of you. Thank you.
Join us every Monday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live on Tom Cooney Music and on Rocking the Valley. Big thanks to Steve Jones for getting us out and giving us this spot where we can do something a little bit different than what you're seeing out there amongst all the other shows. We can sit down and talk with a songwriter, play live, talk about what's behind what they're trying to do. And so just big thanks to Steve.
I love this. I love this format, and I wish you all the best with this. I'm going to keep tuning in whenever I can.
Well, thanks, Steve.
There are some other musicians in the area.
Yeah, we got a good guest of lineups, which I'll be announcing in a couple of days.
Cool.
So thank you very much, Frank.
You're very welcome, Tom. It's a pleasure to have you participating in Rocking the Valley.
Breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here?